My phone buzzed at 2 a.m. a text from Dad. We're leaving everything to Clara. You're out. Don't bother showing up. I stare, heart racing, as betrayal sank in like a knife. 6 months later, Clara and Nate demanded half my business. My lawyer smirked. Not today. I'd uncover their lies and make them pay. I'm Lila, 32, the eldest of 3. Clara, the baby, was always Dad's princess, draped in praise while I scraped by. Nate, the middle kid, just nodded along, avoiding drama like it was his job. Growing up in Clara's glow in our small Ohio town, I thought hard work would balance the scales. I was dead wrong. When Dad got sick last year, I dropped everything. I'm a graphic designer, running a small studio in Columbus, and I burned. Through savings to fly to Dayton every weekend, sitting by his hospital bed, holding his hand as chemo drained him. Clara lived 10 minutes away, Nate 15, but they showed up once a month, if that. When they did, it was a performance. Clara snapping selfies for Instagram, captioning them family first. Nate tagging along with fake smiles. I changed. Bedpans. They posted HASHTAGs.dad passed in November, and I was gutted. I expected the will to bring closure, maybe a nod to the nights I spent by his side. Instead, that text hit like a slap. No call, no warning, just a cold message from Dad's number, sent by who knows who. I called the estate lawyer, a guy named Greg in Dayton. His assistant mumbled the will reading happened a week ago. Clara and Nate were there, sipping coffee. Signing papers? Me? Not invited. Clara said it was a private affair, the assistant said. Private? I'm his daughter. I hung up, my hands shaking, the room spinning. How do you erase your own kid? I tried to move on. Really, I threw myself into work, designing logos until my eyes burned, avoiding thoughts of betrayal. Therapy helped, but the hurt lingered like a bruise. I told myself Dad was sick. Maybe Clara twisted his arm. Maybe he didn't mean it. But deep down I knew, Clara always got what she wanted. She charmed Dad into funding her boutique, her car, her life. Nate just followed, spineless as ever. Still, I kept quiet, hoping time would dull the sting. Then, in May, they showed up. I was in my apartment, sketching a client's banner, when the doorbell rang. Clara stood there in designer heels, Nate in his usual hoodie, their partners trailing. Like backup dancers. Clara held a manila envelope, her smile sharp as glass. We need to talk, Lila, she said, stepping inside without asking. Nate shuffled in, avoiding my eyes. It's about your business, Clara continued, tossing the envelope on my coffee table. Dad loaned you seed money for it, right? That makes it part of the estate. You owe us a cut. I froze. My studio, my pride, built from late nights. And hustle was mine. Dad gave me $5,000 years ago, a fraction of what I'd invested. I paid him back with interest by 2020, every cent documented. Now Clara, who'd never worked a day without Dad's cash, wanted half. She quoted some nonsense appraisal. $150,000, she claimed, was her and Nate's fair share. Nate mumbled, "It's just business, Lila." Their partners nodded like puppets. I laughed, bitter. "Get out," I said, voice low. They didn't. Move. Clara's eyes narrowed. "We'll see you in court," she spat, storming out. I wasn't scared. I was ready. I kept every receipt, every email, every bank transfer proving the loan was repaid. But Clara's threat lit a fire. I hired Tara Voss, a lawyer with a reputation for shredding greedy claims. Tara was a bulldog, calm, sharp, and allergic to nonsense. Within days, she had a response drafted, dismantling Clara's case. But then, she found something bigger. Buried in Dad's estate files was a codicil, a hidden amendment to his will, dated 3 months before he died. It mentioned a letter, meant for me, sealed and specific. Clara had suppressed it. No one sent it. Tara got a court order to dig deeper, and when that letter arrived, I wasn't ready for what it said. I clutched the letter, tears blurring Dad's words. He wrote how Clara cornered him during chemo, whispering lies about my greed. Nate, spineless as ever, nodded along, saying it'd keep the peace. Dad felt trapped, too weak to fight. The Chevy, a rusted '67 Impala we restored together, was his silent apology. The storage unit, a mystery he never explained. I wanted to scream. Why didn't he tell me? How could he let them win? But the pain fueled me. I'd make them regret. Tara called me the next morning, her voice sharp. "Lila, you sitting down?" I wasn't. but I nodded anyway. We found a second will, she said. Dated 2 weeks before your dad died. Notarized, legal, and it names you as the sole heir to everything house, savings, even Clara's. Precious boutique. My jaw dropped. A second will? Dad rewrote it all? I laughed, bitter and wild. Clara thought she'd won, but Dad had played her. The catch? The will was locked in a safe deposit box at a bank in Dayton, and Clara's lawyer, some slick guy named Vince, claimed it was forged. Forged, as if Dad would fake his own wishes. Tara wasn't fazed. She'd already subpoenaed the banks, records, and the notary's testimony. This is war, she said, her tone icy. I loved it. Clara and Nate had no idea what was coming. I drove to the bank, the storage unit key burning a hole in my pocket. What was Dad hiding? The unit was in a grimy lot on the edge of town, all rusty gates and flickering lights. I unlocked the door. Heart pounding. Inside were boxes, dusty tools, and a locked metal chest. I pried it open, expecting junk. Instead, I found stacks of letters, photos, and a journal Dad's. Every page screamed regret. Lila deserves better, he wrote. Clara's lies suffocate me. My chest tightened. He knew. He always knew. Then I found it, a deed. Not just any deed, Dad's old workshop, a garage he'd owned in Springfield, worth $300,000 now. Clara thought it was sold years ago, but Dad had kept it, titled in my name since 2019. I laughed, the sound echoing in the dim unit. Clara wanted my business? I had a whole property she didn't know existed. But why hide it? Why the secrecy? Back home, I called Tara. There's a deed, I said, voice shaking. Dad left me a garage, she whistled. That's not in. Either will, Lila. It's yours, free and clear. But she warned me. Clara's team was digging, claiming I coerced Dad into the second will. Coerced him? Me, the one changing his 4 drips while Clara posed for likes? The irony stung. I wanted to storm Clara's boutique and shove the deed in her face. Then came the next twist. Tara got a tip from the bank manager. Clara had tried accessing the safe deposit box last week, using a fake ID with Dad's name. She'd been turned away, but not before raising hell. She's desperate, Tara said. She knows about the second will. My blood boiled. Clara wasn't just greedy, she was criminal. What else was she hiding? Had she tampered with more than the codicil? I met Tara at her office, a cramped space downtown stacked with legal files. She spread out the second will, its pages crisp, Dad's signature unmistakable. This changes everything, she said. But we need to move fast. Clara's lawyer is pushing for an emergency hearing to block it. I nodded, rage simmering. Clara pepperoni pizza for breakfast? I could barely think. Let's bury them, I said. Tara grinned. Oh, we will. That night I couldn't sleep. Clara's smug smile haunted me. She'd manipulated Dad, erased me, and now she was forging documents? I stared at the storage unit key, wondering what else Dad hid. The journal mentioned a promise to Lila, but no details. What was it? The Chevy purred outside, a reminder of Dad's love. I'd find out, and Clara would pay for every lie. I sat in my apartment, Dad's journal open, its pages screaming betrayal. Clara twisted my words, he wrote. Lila, you're my heart. My throat tightened. Why didn't he fight harder? Why let her win? Every entry detailed Clara's pressure late-night visits, guilt trips, even forging his signature on checks. Nate just watched, silent, complicit. I wanted to hurl the journal across the room. My own sister, my spineless brother. How could? They? Tara called, her voice electric. Lila, we've got gold. She tracked down Dad's lawyer, Mr. Hensley, a grizzled old man who retired after Dad's death. He had a USB drive, hidden for months with a video of Dad, frail but lucid, dictating his true wishes. Clara coerced me, Dad said on the grainy footage, his eyes wet. Lila gets everything, the house, the garage, my savings. My heart stopped. A video? Proof? I laughed, wild and raw. Clara was done. But Clara wasn't backing down. Her lawyer, Vince, filed a motion to dismiss the second will, claiming Dad was delusional. Delusional? The man who rebuilt carburetors at 70. I paced my apartment, rage. Bubbling. Tara warned me the hearing was in 3 days. They're desperate, she said. Clara's been calling witnesses, nurses, neighbors, saying you neglected Dad. Neglected him? I was the one wiping his brow while Clara shopped for handbags. The audacity! I dug into the storage unit again, hunting for Dad's promise. The chest held more than I expected. A locket with Mom's photo, engraved with, "Lila, my anchor." I sobbed, clutching it. Why hide this? Then I found a letter, not in the journal, sealed with Dad's wax stamp. "Lila," it read, "the garage has a safe. Code 1963. Don't tell Clara. My pulse race. A safe. What was inside?" I drove to the Springfield garage at dawn, the Chevy rumbling like Dad's heartbeat. The place was a time capsule grease. Stains, old tools, the smell of oil. I found the safe behind a workbench, rusted but solid. The code worked. Inside, cash $50,000 in crisp hundreds and a deed for a cabin in Hocking Hills, titled to me since 2018. A cabin? Clara thought she'd stolen everything, but Dad outsmarted her. Tara met me at the garage, her eyes wide as I showed her the deed. "This isn't in any will," she said. "It's untouchable." But she frowned. Clara's team is spinning. A story. They're saying you hid assets, manipulated Dad into signing these deeds. Manipulated? Me? I wanted to scream. Clara was the snake, not me. Tara gripped my shoulder. "We'll crush them. The videos are ace." The hearing loomed, and I couldn't eat. Clara's lies swirled in my head. She posted online, calling me a greedy leech who abandoned Dad. Comments piled up, strangers believed her. My phone buzzed with her smug text. "Give up, Lila. You'll lose." Lose? Never. I forwarded every text to Tara, who smirked. She's digging her own grave. I felt a spark of hope. Could we really win? The night before the hearing, Nate called. "Lila, I didn't know," he whined. "Clara said you were okay with the will." "Okay?" I laughed cold. "You watched her erase me, Nate. Own it." He stammered, then hung up. Spineless. Always. Spineless. I stared at the locket, Mom's face calming me. Tomorrow I'd walk into court with Tara, the video, the deeds. Clara's lies would crash and burn. I was still reeling from the safe's contents, $50,000. A cabin deed, Mom's locket, when Nate's name flashed on my phone. I almost ignored it. Why bother? He'd stood by Clara, silent, while she erased me, but his voice trembled. "Lila, I'm sorry," he said. "Sorry? After years of spineless shrugs?" I scoffed, ready to hang up. "Wait," he begged. "Clara stole from Dad. I have proof." My heart stopped. "Proof? What proof?" Nate spilled it all. Clara had forged Dad's signature on checks during his chemo, siphoning $80,000 into her boutique's account. Nate found her laptop open one night, screenshots of transfers glaring. He'd saved them, too scared to act until now. I was weak, he admitted, voice breaking. "But I'm done? Done?" My chest burned rage, relief, disbelief. Could I trust him? Or was this another trap? I met Nate at a greasy diner off Route 70, his hoodie soaked from rain. He slid a USB drive across the table, eyes darting like. He expected Clara to pounce. "It's all here," he muttered. Bank records, emails, even her texts bragging about outsmarting Dad. I wanted to hug him and slap him. Why wait so long? But his guilt was real red eyes, shaky hands. He'd finally grown a spine. Tara was ecstatic when I showed her the USB. "This is dynamite," she said, plugging it into her laptop. The screenshots were damning. Clara's forged checks, timestamps matching Dad's worst days, text to a friend saying, "Lila's out, Dad's too sick to notice." My stomach churned. She preyed on him, smiling to his face. Tara grinned. "This goes to the judge. Clara's toast." I felt a thrill. Revenge was close. The hearing was a circus. Clara strutted in, all designer sunglasses and fake tears. Vince at her side like a loyal dog. I sat with Tara, Nate beside me, clutching his hands so tight his knuckles whitened. The judge, a stern woman with sharp eyes, called Nate to testify. Clara's smirk vanished. What? Her own brother? Nate stood, voice steady, and laid it bare. The forgeries, the $80,000, the texts. The courtroom gasped. Clara screamed, "He's lying!" Her face turned red, veins bulging. I'd never seen her unravel. It felt so good. Tara followed, presenting the USB's contents. The judge's brow furrowed as she reviewed the evidence bank records, Clara's smug texts, even an email too. Vince saying, "Lila won't suspect a thing." Suspect? I'd been living it. The video of Dad's confession played next, his frail voice echoing. Clara forced my hand. Lila's my heir. Jurors shifted, whispering. Clara's lawyer. Stammered, caught off guard. I wanted to cheer. Then came the twist. The judge paused, holding up a new document. This arrived today, she said. A third codicil, dated days before Dad's death, found in his lawyer's safe. It revoked Clara's inheritance entirely, citing dishonesty. Dishonesty? That was putting it lightly. It named me and Nate as co-heirs, with the cabin and garage explicitly mine. Clara lunged forward, yelling, "That's fake!" The bailiff grabbed her. The room spun. Dad had fought back after all. Nate grabbed my hand under the table, whispering, "I should have told you sooner." His eyes were wet, guilt raw. I nodded, too stunned to speak. Clara's meltdown continued. She cursed, pointed at me, called me a thief. The judge banged her gavel. "Order," she snapped. Clara sank into her seat, defeated. I felt a rush of vindication, fury, triumph. She tried to bury me, but Dad's truth was rising. Clara's outburst left the courtroom buzzing. She sat, face flushed, muttering to Vince, who looked like he'd swallowed a lemon. I gripped the table, my knuckles white. How could she scream I was the thief? Me, who bathed Dad when he couldn't lift his arms? Tara leaned over, her whisper fierce. "We're not done, Lila." Her eyes gleamed. "What now? Another bombshell?" I braced myself. Tara stood, addressing the judge. "We have evidence of witness tampering," she said, voice like steel. "Tampering?" My heart raced. Tara revealed Clara had paid a nurse, Donna, $10,000 to swear Dad was incoherent when he signed the second will and third codicil. The proof? Bank transfers from Clara's boutique account dated days after Dad's death. I gasped. She bribed someone to erase me. The gall. The judge called Donna to the stand. The nurse, a nervous woman with trembling hands, cracked in seconds. "Clara promised me more," she stammered. "Said it'd secure my job." The courtroom murmured. Clara's jaw dropped, her fake tears gone. Vince tried to object, but the judge silenced him. "Enough!" she snapped. I wanted to scream. Clara thought she could buy Dad's legacy. Not today. Then Nate stood again, his face pale but set. "I have something else," he said, holding up his phone. "A recording?" My stomach flipped. He'd secretly taped Clara last month, ranting about fixing the will. "Lila's nothing," her voice hissed through the speakers. "Dad was mine to control." The jury gasped. I felt sick. My own sister, gloating like a villain. Nate's eyes met mine, apologetic. "Why do you wait so long?" Tara projected the recording's transcript on a screen, every word damning. Clara had bragged about forging checks, bullying Dad, even laughing at my pathetic hospital visits. "She thinks she's family?" Clara's voice sneered. My blood boiled. Family? I was more family than she'd ever be. The jury's faces hardened. Clara shrank, her confidence dust. Vince whispered frantically, but she just stared, trapped. The judge ordered a recess to review the evidence. I paced the courthouse hall. Mom's locket heavy in my pocket. Nate followed, voice low. "I recorded her to protect you," he said. "Protect me?" After years of silence? I wanted to shake him, but his guilt was raw red eyes, slumped shoulders. I was scared. He admitted. Clara's ruthless. I nodded, anger softening. He'd finally chosen me. Back in court, Tara went for blood. She presented Dad's video confession again, since with Nate's recording and the nurse's testimony. "Clara manipulated a dying man," Tara said, her voice cutting. "She bribed witnesses, forged documents, and hid assets. She held up the cabin deed, my name clear as day." This was Lila's always, the jury nodded. Clara's lies were crumbling fast. Then came the kicker. The judge revealed Clara's boutique was under investigation, her $80,000 in forged checks had triggered an audit. Tax fraud, money laundering, the works. Clara's face went ghost white. She stood, yelling, "This is a setup." The bailiff grabbed her again. I laughed, sharp and bitter. Setup? She built her own cage. The courtroom felt electric, justice crackling like a storm dot as we left for the day. Tara pulled me aside. "The judge is leaning our way," she whispered. "But Clara's not done fighting." I nodded, clutching the locket. Clara's greed had burned her, but I felt no joy, just raw, aching triumph. Dad's truth was out. The cabin, the garage, his love, it was mine. But what else had Clara hidden? I'd find out no matter the cost. The courtroom hummed with tension, Clara's pale face a mask of desperation. I clutched Mom's locket, my anchor. Tara warned me Clara's team had a surprise. Surprise? What now? Vince stood smug, waving a letter supposedly from Dad, dated days before his death. It accused me of draining his savings, $200,000, while he was too weak to notice. My jaw dropped. Me? A thief? The lie burned like acid. The jury shifted, eyes on me. Clara's lips curled, her confidence creeping back. I wanted to scream. I'd never touched Dad's money. Tara grabbed my arm, whispering, "Stay calm. It's fake. Fake? How could they prove it?" My pulse pounded as Vince droned about Lila's greed. Every word was a knife. Had Clara forged this too? Was there no bottom to her deceit? Then the doors swung open. A woman strode in. Marla, Dad's cousin from Toledo, gray hair tied back, clutching a leather-bound book. "I have evidence," she said, voice steady. The judge raised an eyebrow. "Evidence?" My heart leapt. Marla handed over Dad's missing diary, lost for years, found in her attic. "He sent it to me before he died," she said. "He knew Clara was scheming." The diary was a bombshell. Pages detailed Clara's manipulation dates. Times, even her threats to cut Lila out if Dad didn't comply. One entry gutted me. "Lila's my rock, but Clara's relentless. I'm scared she'll win." Tears stung my eyes. "Dad fought for me." Tara read the entries aloud, each word shredding Clara's lies. The forged letter? Debunked by Dad's own handwriting, dated months earlier. Clara lost it. "That's not real," she shrieked, standing so fast her chair crashed. The bailiff lunged, but she kept yelling, "Lila paid her." "It's a setup," the jury gasped. "Setup? Her nerve." Marla stared her down, unflinched. "Your father trusted me, Clara, not you." The judge banged her gavel, silencing the room. Clara collapsed, sobbing, her facade shattered. I felt a rush fury, triumph, release. Tara pounced, presenting the diary alongside Nate's recording, the nurse's testimony, and the cabin deed. "Clara's pattern is clear," she said, voice like a blade. "Fraud, coercion, bribery." She revealed more. Clara's boutique was bankrupt, her $80,000 in forged checks just to start. The IRS had frozen her accounts. Bankrupt? Clara's designer heels suddenly looked pathetic. I laughed, sharp and cold. She built her castle on lies. The judge's ruling came like lightning. "The second will and third codicil are valid," she declared. "Lila inherits the estate house. Garage, cabin, savings." She turned to Clara, eyes hard. "Your actions constitute fraud. You'll face separate charges." Clara wailed, a raw animal sound. Nate grabbed my hand, whispering, "It's over." Over? It was justice. The jury nodded, some smiling. At me. I'd won. Outside, Clara tried one last jab, cornering me in the hall. "You'll regret this, Lila," she hissed, eyes wild. I stepped closer, voice low. "You stole from Dad. From me. Now you've got nothing. Enjoy your ruin." Her face crumpled. I walked away, Marla at my side, Nate trailing. The locket warmed my palm. Dad's love had won. I drove to the Hocking Hills cabin that weekend, the Chevy purring. The lake sparkled, just like Dad's eyes when we'd fished together. I scattered. His ashes there per his diary's wish, whispering, "You did it, Dad." Clara's rants hit X, calling me a vulture. No one cared. Our old neighbor posted, "Lila earned every bit. Clara's the snake." I grinned, sipping coffee. On the dock. Peace, at last. That's the end of today's story. Did things turn out the way you thought? Or were there some surprises along the way? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you haven't joined the community yet, now's the perfect time. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you're always the first to catch new stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next adventure.